Going through the marshes with both Brian and Hillary, who do their own types of restoration and just research in such an important ecosystem, which is the Mississippi River Delta.
And we're out at Big Branch National Wildlife Refuge today with the America's Wetland Conservation Corps, and we're going to plant about 5,000 marsh grass plugs today out on the refuge on a dredge site.
Our crew is comprised of about 6 AmeriCorps members and 2 wetland agents that we've hired to assist with the Youth Wetlands program. Overall, we're trying to increase community outreach and kind of community involvement in wetland restoration. And I think it's just kind of interesting to see how such a large piece of land was just created by pumping it straight out of the Mississippi River onto the shore of Lake Pontchartrain to kind of help combat this erosion problem we're having. Ashley has even said she was born and raised not far from the coast, but she didn't even know that wetlands were an issue till she got to college. Right. So really engaging communities to kind of take ownership of what's going on down here, I think is an invaluable aspect of the restoration project.
The thing that I've loved about Louisiana the most is this desire that people are gonna have a good time down here and you wanna take care of people. It's become that second nature to me. Like, I don't realize it doesn't happen anymore.
20 different trips, and in those 20 trips, we brought about 1,000 volunteers and we planted over 100,000 plants.
I have been able to see a lot of Louisiana. People forget that there's this huge, huge disconnect between New Orleans. There's New Orleans and there's the rest of Louisiana. There's New York City and then there's the rest of the state of New York. And they are 2 totally, totally different animals that almost need to be governed in 2 totally, totally different ways.
We're on an airboat with Danny Bro from the refuge, and we're taking out all of our Spartina patens, which is marsh hay cordgrass. It is a grass that grows in wetland areas in Louisiana on higher elevations than down in the water. So we're transporting these out to the site and we're going to start putting them in the ground.
I'll be driving behind somebody on some major street here in town and they'll pitch a McDonald's bag out their window. And no one quite gets that, like, the garbage you pitch out your window really ends up connecting to your waterway.
First off, we just swing it out. I'm gonna take your toes off, drive it in, wiggle it back and forth, till you make a full hole. We're in a state where we provide 30 to 40% of the nation's commercial shellfish. It's the #2 producer of natural gas. We have 4 of the nation's 10 largest ports come through Louisiana. The entire state's economy rides on water. And what's really weird is, like, once you kind of leave the coastal zone, aside from the population who's just down there and whose front yards have become waterfront property, no one quite gets it.
Been growing out in a nursery in South Louisiana. And what we do is just pretty basic. You just push them in. You want to be sure there's not an air pocket in the bottom, and you just push them in and you backfill it. And you want to be sure that it's standing up straight and that you push the sediment down with your foot. Give it a tug, make sure it's not going to pop up. Move on to your next one.
Louisiana is a very important hub to the economy of the United States. People take it for granted both down here and therefore in the nation as a whole. Like, I had a friend call him bitching to me after Hurricane Katrina because the gas prices in Seattle went up. But, like, that's how far reaching what happens here affects everybody.
Yes.
What do y'all think of this?
Pretty cool.
It's fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Helping the environment.
You just go with the plants, I'll pack.
Okay, okay.
My sister and I finally had too much wine one night, and I'm like, nothing's gonna fucking change. Like, this planet is going to implode because of human impact, and there's nothing we can do to stop it, so, like, why bother trying? Is sort of like, would have been my answer a week ago. I was excited to see you, but, like, what the fuck do you really think you're gonna accomplish? Sorry. But at the same time, like, having you guys in the house has been very, very refreshing. And I think having you here and listening to you talk, I think it's actually more shifted. It's been a bigger shift towards my perspective. And I think, like, maybe you guys have, like, chinked away a little bit that, like, cynical armor that has really built up.
How do I feel about it? I absolutely love it. I'm very excited that this is actually my job and I get paid for this. Because even if not, I would be out here almost every weekend doing the same thing.
But I think that's why I like what I do, because I go into a lot of schools where kids don't know that the state has lost an area relative to the size of Delaware in the last 100 years. Some PR rep recently told me if we were losing this much of the state to a foreign country, we'd be at war.
So this is a pretty good day.
Yeah.
I mean, we got like 5,000 in the
plants in the ground.
So
Morale stayed pretty high.
yeah, it actually turned into a warm day, and man, I can look at all that stuff on the ground and feel really good about it. And next year, by this time, all that's going to be solid grass. So that's great.
I saw swamps yesterday and marshes today. And yeah, what a great day being out here on this island and getting to see what kind of conservation and restoration is being done here on the coast.
If humanity is going to survive, we have to reroute the river. At the end of the day, if you really want to reconnect what it is to be part of the planet, you should just try to leave it. Every individual try to leave it better than you found it.
Brittany's back out on the bike, and I'm hoping she's doing really well, and I'll catch up with her in a few days. Gonna stay the weekend, do some more shooting, spend some more quality time with my new friends.
Our friend Brian Piazza's turning 40 years old today. It's actually today, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's so apropos.
Yeah. And so we're having a big party. We got some homebrew and some Abita Amber.
I would say that everyone has adopted Louisiana lifestyle and the fun that we have around food.
Compared to other places I've lived, people are very much about sharing in the South and cooking big feasts.
Celebrated my 40th birthday. Yeah.
And that was perfect, man.
I was totally surprised.
And lots of good food, as you can see. What we have here is about a 13-pound whole brisket.
Yeah, he got me this hat that says "Over the Hill Hippie." See, it has a ponytail, so now I'm like double barrel.
We're gonna make about 50 servings of jambalaya with about 15 pounds of meat. And this bad boy right here, I kind of consider that to be the main event.
That's a ridiculous amount of food. Holy cow.
And I borrowed this pot from a buddy of mine, but I want one now.
You want a pot?
I'm like, yeah, I have to have one of these.
Back out on the road in backcountry towns, and a couple days turned into a lot longer than a couple days. There was just so many opportunities to film and interview and have fun. To be on the road without each other, I think that it's going to be a really good way to be introduced back onto the road and in that mindset, and also probably pretty intense.